Welcome, and I appreciate you attending our training on the Bitcoin investing strategies. I'm going to be sharing with you one strategy today that I've been consistently using to profit that is very, very simple. My Bitcoin investing profit system does not require any of the following: no previous market experience. It's not completely dependent on owning any Bitcoins whatsoever. It's not dependent on the constantly changing price of Bitcoin. It is not dependent on any complex technical trading indicators. There's no need to invest in expensive computer software. Profits that you're going to receive are not dependent on any news events, and it's not dependent on a subscription to any type of service. This is a perfect way to make residual income about 5 minutes a day of your time. And I tell you what, it might make sense just to get in case many people catch on. I do not know how long this opportunity will exist. But to give you a little background, the creator of Bitcoin was Satoshi Nakamoto, which is an anonymous name. And this project was worked on for 2 years before the code was released to the public. And then he disappeared shortly after that. But the development community went on. The financial services industry got very excited about this Bitcoin. And what makes it so special? Well, it's a cryptocurrency. It's an electronic currency. It's a very, very new, very unique financial vehicle, unlike anything the world has ever seen before. And it is a cryptocurrency because it's basically all online. The creation is controlled by electronic mining equipment, and it also transfers money. So despite the name, there's no physical coin to speak of, and it's, like I said, a completely electronic form of money. So let's suppose we have a group of people all starting out in the same position with 100 tokens or coins, and we want to start transferring these coins to each other in terms of payment. So let's take 7.5 of these coins, and what we do is, and this is what the network does, is it records a transaction among ourselves, and it broadcasts it to the world that this transaction actually occurred. And this ledger is called the blockchain, and this network is everybody's computer hooked to the internet. It's called peer-to-peer networking, and everything that goes on in this financial system is recorded in a public ledger called the blockchain. And when these balances are updated that we do individually, all the changes are propagated to everybody else. So on Ali's copy of the ledger, he decreases Sam's balance by 7.5 and increases his by 7.5. And that's what it would look like. So it's impossible to cheat the system. And if you could actually think of this as a global currency and payment mechanism, you could use the same sort of principles to apply contracts, deeds, documents, etc., files. So the great thing about this is that nobody owns it, the system, and nobody controls it. And that's a little bit why the governments sometimes look at this as, or I should say the banks look at it as it's a very big threat to their bottom line, because they make money off of fees. And with that, just as when you're dealing with cash from person to person, there's only the sender and the recipient are involved. There's no middlemen. So it makes the cost of doing business much cheaper, okay, because there's no fees required to do this. So really, for the first time, you and I can trade directly online from anywhere in the world without the use of a bank or intermediary. So I would send 1 Bitcoin from my Bitcoin address to my friend John. The Bitcoin network records the transaction in the blockchain, and that I no longer have possession of that coin. So the coin moved from my wallet to John's wallet. And the other thing about Bitcoin, is that it solves a so-called double spending problem that's also present with digital goods. So you can imagine if you had an MP3 file, music file, or you had an ebook, right now you could freely copy that file 1,000 times and send it to 1,000 different people. Well, not so much anymore, because once the mechanisms are all in place, the platforms are in place, like I said, this can apply to music files, ebooks, it can apply to documents, contracts, etc. So there's a whole new way of doing business coming into play, and that's why we're seeing such a huge surge in IT companies coming into, or I should say venture capitalists getting into this IT companies to invest in infrastructure and these different mechanisms that can be built on top of Bitcoin to make business easier to do. So now I know there's many pros and cons of this with different governments, naysayers, etc. And I don't want to get into the arguments of if this new currency will succeed or fail, and we'll leave politics out of this. My concern right now is that there are profit opportunities that are provided with this new payment phenomenon. And that's what I want to introduce you to and start making money with this. So there are many different, there's probably over 100 different cryptocurrencies. I'm going to stick to Bitcoin for the sake of this presentation, but this can be done with you see the red arrows there. I'm involved with Litecoin and Dogecoin, and each one of these different coins have their own unique twist on this payment mechanism. Now, some might be geared toward more documents, others geared toward more anonymous usage of the system. But Bitcoin is the media darling. It has the highest market cap of over $8 billion. Its volume daily trades about $13 million in volume. So we want to go where the biggest opportunity is right now, and that is with Bitcoin. So just to go through some of the basics of what we're going to be doing, it is a peer-to-peer virtual currency. So no middleman, okay, or centralized authority needed to do this. So the first thing you're going to do to get involved with Bitcoin is you need to get your own Bitcoin wallet, which is basically a Bitcoin address where you will receive or send Bitcoin from. Okay, and of course you need internet access. You only need to be online long enough for the transaction to process. But like traditional bank accounts too, you can receive Bitcoins to your Bitcoin address or wallet even when you're offline. And this is what a typical Bitcoin address looks like that you would see on the blockchain. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to have you do is sign up at a site to get a Bitcoin address. I'm going to suggest that you, for now, get a Bitcoin address that is provided by an online service for free. Of course, there are clients that you can download these clients to your PC or Mac, and you can keep your Bitcoin information on your PC. You best back it up, because if you lose that information, there's no recovering it. So I'm just going with an online solution for myself. Okay, so the advantages of Bitcoin: very low cost for sending and receiving Bitcoins. Many times there's no fee, and if you want a priority transaction sent, you can pay a little bit more for that. But like I said, mostly it's possible to send transactions completely free. But I always recommend you pay a very small fee in order to speed up the sending process. Now, the fee amount depends on the data size of the transaction, not the dollar size or the Bitcoin size. It's on the data size. So a typical transaction is only 500 bytes, which is very, very small. and that carries a fee of 0.0001 Bitcoin. So we're looking at maybe 6 to 12 cents, all right, for a transaction fee, which is way less than sending money via a credit card to the merchant, which is normally 3% plus their normal monthly fee to have the opportunity to have a payment mechanism. So when fees are reduced, businesses can make more profit. Now, to get a Bitcoin online wallet and at the same time to be able to purchase your first Bitcoin or part of a Bitcoin, I am going to suggest you Coinbase. It's probably the easiest, the biggest, and the safest way to purchase Bitcoins in the United States. Okay. Now it is not an exchange. Okay. They act as a counterparty to all customer trades. Okay. So you buy or sell your Bitcoins directly to Coinbase, not other parties being represented by Coinbase. Okay, that's the difference. Now, when you sign up for Coinbase, you want to do it through this link only. The reason being is it's set up that will give you only through this link, you will get $5 worth of free Bitcoin once you sign up and fund your account to buy a Bitcoin from them. Okay, so if you don't do it through this link and you just go to their site Coinbase, you're not going to get the $5 free. So make sure you write that down. bit.ly.com/Coinbase Bitcoin. Okay, and that will take you right to the page that when you sign up and fund your account, you will get $5 worth of free Bitcoin. Again, that's bit.ly.com/Coinbase Bitcoin. Write that down. All right, so I want to go into the opportunity. And the opportunity revolves around the technique of arbitrage. Now, on Wall Street, arbitrage is done every single day with stocks, with foreign exchange, and it is a 100% legal method of and a strategy of investing. Now, arbitrage happens, like I said, every day in the Forex market. But here's the thing, in foreign exchange, the prices move barely 1% per day. Okay. Now, Bitcoin prices can rise or fall up to 30% in a single day. So if you were to do this by yourself and you know how to trade, you really don't need any leverage to make money with Bitcoin. But most people don't know how to trade, or they don't want to monitor this stuff all the time. So what we have is a system that will do this automatically for you in trade, that really you're just going to be counting your profits. So what I want to start now is going over how we do this trading. Now, just to be clear here, Bitcoin arbitrage is the practice of taking advantage of a price difference between markets. These price differences emerge because certain exchanges are more liquid than others. Bigger exchanges with more trading will drive the price of the rest of the market. The smaller exchanges follow the price of the larger ones, but there's a time lag in between. And it's that time lag that makes arbitrage possible. Now, what I'm looking at here are 5 different exchanges, okay, different parts of the world. Now, this is just on a daily trading that was done yesterday, and you can see between the different exchanges that there are highs and lows at the same time, okay? So that is the gap that we're referring to. Now, that's where we're going to make our money. Now, I just want to give you an example of how this time lag happens. And let's just pretend we're going to go for a big one here. And let's say the government all of a sudden makes an announcement that Bitcoin deposits are going to be untaxed. So what would most likely happen is this causes people now to go out and buy Bitcoin. Okay, and most people are going to flock toward the most common, well-known exchanges, the bigger ones, because they're the easiest to trade with. So if we pretend the larger exchange is Bitstamp, okay, the price of Bitcoin on Bitstamp will increase due to the surge of buyers. Remember, more demand means the price goes up. Meanwhile, at CampBX, there's less volume on the market, and the market is slower to react to that change. So for about an hour, the price of Bitcoin on Bitstamp is going to be more than CampBX. Okay, see the little graphic there. So at 10 a.m., you could buy Bitcoin on CampBX for $101 and sell that same Bitcoin on Bitstamp for $105, making you a profit of $4.50. And that's simply what arbitrage is. It really can be a very foolproof method of investment if you understand and manage the complexities of the situation. Now, the people that we deal with who do this for you do this all day long. Okay, they're experts in this. I don't want you to become an expert trader. So I just wanted to give you an example of what's going on behind the scenes, because this site was developed by computer geeks and traders, and it's called Bitcoin Trader. Now, to get advantage of free trading on here, I want you to go to bit.ly.com/Bitcoin Trader. It's very important that you go through that link, all right? Because we want to make sure that we fund our accounts, there's no fees, etc. Now, just write that down, bit.ly.com/Bitcoin Trader. Now, every single morning when I wake up, in my inbox, it looks like this. New earnings, new earnings, new earnings, new earnings, okay? And that's pretty exciting, because when I log into my system and I'm just tracking this on a spreadsheet for now, you can see that my profits range from 0.85 of tenths of a percent to over 1% daily, okay? And this is just for the last 3 weeks, been trading, everything's positive, not one single loss by Bitcoin Trader, okay? Now, this gets very exciting because you got to look at the ramifications of compounded earning growth, okay? So if I'm getting a minimum average of 1.23% per business day, that translates into 24% growth per month, being that there's 5 trading days a week, 4 weeks in a month, okay? So an example, if you started with $1,000 and you were earning a minimum of 24% a month in investment earnings, and you reinvested all the earnings at the beginning of the next month, the following table I'm going to show you will demonstrate the growth in that original $1,000 investment. Now, you can also do this with $100, and it's up to what you put at risk. But here's the table for $1,000 minimum over 40 consecutive months. You see that it grows to over $4 million. All right, so it starts out slow, and that's all well and good. You're making great money, okay, and you continue to reinvest. But as these compounded earnings grow, I mean, this is very, very exciting stuff, okay? So very, very important that you always reinvest your earnings every single day back into the system. All right. Now, if you just want to try this, start with a minimum of $100 investment. Okay, you can really start for as low as $20, but I think everybody could put $100 up that they could risk. Okay, let's just work at the minimum that I've been getting of 0.87%. Okay, and it would take 115 days to double your money in that case, and then go on and compound that. But again, after 3 years, you're going to have over $1 million starting out with $100 if you reinvest your profits every single day. Now, obviously, I invest more because I want more, but it's totally up to you. currently, right now, I have $2,820 that I am trading. Okay, so I'm actively doing this, and every single day I log into Bitcoin Trader and I will reinvest my earnings into the trading pool. Okay, now I am going to put up a video into the content area showing you how I do this. So we will go into more detail in the course that you're going to get access to as part of my alpha group. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could cash out your earnings, but again, I'm sending it right back to the system with no fees, and I am going to reinvest that. So really, this system that I've come up with, except for the time it takes to count your earnings every day, there's no need to stay glued to your computer all day. Okay? After you fund your Bitcoin investment account, you're going to spend far more time counting your dollars than you have to do with messing anything that has to do with Bitcoin. All right, so I spend 5 minutes a day. I look at my earnings, I reinvest those earnings, and I'm done, and that's it. So you get free access to my alpha course at bitcoininvestingprofitsystem.com. You'll be getting emails from me as we go. I would like your feedback, questions, so I can put this course together and start selling it, but you're going to get it for free as part of the alpha group. And we have a secret Facebook group, which I have the incorrect link here, so I'm going to write the correct link here. Make sure I got that. Bear with me one sec, and we will get the right group on copy bit link, and we will make sure we have the right link here for you. Otherwise than that, that was a little hiccup here in this presentation, but we do have the secret Facebook group that I want you to come and join. So that's the link there, bit.ly.com, Bitcoin Investing. And just to make sure I got the right group link there, copy, stick it here. And that's what the group is going to take a look like. And we'll go from there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the presentation tonight. When you get into the course over the next couple of days, I'm going to be updating it with free Bitcoin faucets, and these are sites that will pay you a portion of a Bitcoin for watching an ad, surfing a net, filling out a form, etc. So if you really don't have any money at all to start with, you could start by doing some of these actions on these different sites to get your free Bitcoin to start with, and then you can start as low as $20 with the same system. You'll also, when you log in, you'll get a book, Bitcoin Exposed. It's over 100 pages on it. Really, most of the questions people are asking on Bitcoin, etc., and some references in that. But I will have videos in the course that will show you exactly how to sign up for Coinbase, verify your account, send money to Bitcoin Trader, invest your money on Bitcoin Trader, and then cash it out. From that point, I will be going over some different investing strategies, but the one I've gone over today is really the simplest strategy. So guys, if you have any questions, please just email me, or better yet, ask them in the Facebook group so everybody can partake in getting the knowledge. And thank you very much for listening, and have a great day.